All right, let's graph exponential functions in Desmos. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and type in a function here into the Desmos graphing calculator. Y equals 3 to the x power minus 4. Okay, to get this function translated into a table format, we can quite simply click the Edit List button here in Desmos, and then click Convert to Table. And what this is going to do is convert our function into a table with the inputs and the outputs, or the x values and the y values. So as you see, after you hit Convert to Table, you have the table values that you need. If you need past the positive 2 here, or past whatever number Desmos generates, you click into the last x value of that table, and then you just click Enter, and it gives you the next several rows. As many times you hit Enter, it will create new rows. Okay? You can also see here, it's also creating those points that we just generated in the table. All right, so now let's move on to some of the key features. Okay, we want to look and find the y-intercept first. So there's two ways to do that here, that since we have a graph and a table. In the graph, your y-intercept is always going to be where the graph crosses the y-axis. So if I'm looking here at this graph, it's crossing the y-axis here at 0, negative 3. You could also look in the table. You're also going to look where the x value is 0 in this table. So if I'm in my x column, my x is 0, and when the x is 0, the y value is negative 3. All right, so we know that our y-intercept is at 0, negative 3. Now, if we wanted to find the horizontal asymptote, all we need to do is look in the original function that we started with. So here's our function, 3 to the x power minus 4. The horizontal asymptote is always going to come after the x. So after the x, we have a negative 4. So our horizontal asymptote is negative 4. All right, our domain. Remember, domain is always the x values of any function. In an exponential function, your domain is always going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. The x values of this graph, we can't pinpoint when they start, when they finish. So our domain is always just simply going to be negative infinity less than x, since we're dealing with domain, that has to be our x values, less than positive infinity. Okay, because if you zoom out of your graph in Desmos, you're never ever going to see where the x values end. So we just assume it goes from negative infinity to positive infinity. The range does have a boundary, because remember, range is from the bottom to the top. So if we look at the lowest that this function is going to go, the lowest that it goes is around negative 4, which is also our horizontal asymptote. So that's the limit there. That's as low as it can go. So our range will start at negative 4, less than y, since we're dealing with range as our y values. And then it continues to go up forever and ever, so we will put positive infinity. Okay, those are the key features of an exponential function.